Search terms and SEO for Amazon. Perhaps one of the easiest and most actionable things that you can do today to increase your long-term sales on Amazon. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and I'll be talking about some very specific things you need to be on the lookout for to optimize. So I've got on screen, this is some crayons that are for sale. So they're bulk crayons. You may notice a little bit of similarity to the facial expressions here. These are actually shots of my kids. We took some shots to get some filler lifestyle images in. And these crayons can absolutely, there's a lot of keyword work that we've done, and I'm going to show some demonstration on how to make improvements and what we do when we look at keyword optimization. So we like to use Helium 10. That's probably our go-to keyword tool, and I'm going to show you how and what we look for and some of the best practices. So the first thing that you think about when you look at keywords is the back-end search term field on the back end of Amazon, and you need to set that correctly with a few key important aspects. Number one, you don't want to have any commas in this field. So to get to this location, you just hit edit on the product page in the inventory section, go to the keywords tab, and you can scroll down. A lot of these sections for intended use, target audience, and other attributes and subject matter, I don't think the science is in yet on how much impact they make. So far, I think consensus is that they're pretty minimal. So just do your best on those. I won't be talking about those fields today. I am going to be talking about the search terms field specifically. And one of the most important things you do is don't put any commas. You also want to have no duplicate words, and you want to have as many differentiations that you can. Things that are good to include misspellings, and possibly maybe a couple words in Spanish. Just to get some additional indexing and synonyms in those sections. And so one of the fastest ways to go about doing keyword research is to take a tool like Helium 10, grab the keywords for your own ASIN. Start with your own ASIN, assuming it's been live for a while. And you're going to see there's a number of organic keywords that it indexes for. You're going to see on the right-hand side a word frequency. It's like a word bubble chart, if you will. And you can see what the most common things that come up. So words like crayons, kids, party, coloring, Crayola. And those are common must-haves in your search term field, most likely. Now, Amazon did do an update recently where the algorithm no longer needs words in the title in the search term field. However, when you first set your search terms and they haven't been set or optimized previously, I would say go ahead and ignore that recommendation for a couple months. My recommendation is go ahead and set keywords as if you don't even know it's in your title for a couple months, and then reevaluate it in 3 months and see where your indexing comes out, because you're going to have words that combine and permutate with each other. This is a little technical to explain. But basically, you have a string of words in your search term field. So if I go back to this list here, crayons, bulk, crayon, party favors, big, large, non-toxic packs, colored pencils, etc. And each word in that chain combines with every other word in the chain for permutations of keywords. That means you've got thousands of keywords, and if you use commas, it will actually break that syntax and separate those, and it won't combine or permutate them. That's why the commas need to be removed. This is the number one mistake that we see when we look at accounts for the first time or conduct an audit. The second thing we see typically is we'll see words repeated or duplicated, or not enough of the character count maximized. You want to fill in that full character count to its full max. So you can you can get some general idea of where you're going to head. I recommend that you focus on keywords that you're already in striking distance for. Those are words in rank 20 to rank 50. You can use a tool like Helium 10 to filter that, and watch here as I go from 20 to 50 on this and hit apply. This is going to show me how many keywords this ASIN is in striking distance for. There's 666. So it took out 90% of the 6,000 some odd keywords to give me some options to work with. Now, these are words that we want to really try and go after, because if you can push the ranking on these into the top 10, 15 positions, you're going to see big traffic improvements, and that leads to more sales, of course. So that's why you want to focus on these. And there's going to be crossover between these words and other words all over the place, and that's normal. But these are words that you really, really want to think about. So then, and as you go through this list, you're going to see some words that don't make sense, right? So like words like stickers, maybe not. Daniel Tiger, probably not, right? Now, people who buy stickers and watch Daniel Tiger absolutely would buy crayons, however. So there's some interesting crossover, and it's interesting to see why there's some crossover ranking. All right, so I'm going to remove the organic filter just for temporarily, and then we're going to go ahead and reapply this. And then I'm going to take this list and I'm going to export it over into what's called Frankenstein. This is a fast, dirty way to automatically take that dump of keywords and process it. Now, when you process this takes out all the dupe words. So it makes the job easier by starting it this way, and it condenses it down. Now, obviously, there's just too much information here to work with. You're gonna cull that way down to get to the character count that you're looking for. But this is the starting point. This is something you should look at, and then you can kind of see that the words typically are filtered for most important towards the top of words you're already indexing well for, and then you won't see any repeat phrases. So if all you did was take your dump into Frankenstein and grab the first 250 characters, chances are it's going to be an improvement. Now, you could spend some time on this and cull it and pull it down, and that's very worthwhile. But it's sometimes difficult to cull this mess of a list here. So that's difficult. The other thing you want to do is you want to look at a competitor listing like this one and do the same exact method and see what they're ranking for. So you grab the keywords link, go into Helium 10, and see what they're doing. Now, you can put both ASINs in together at the same time and do a cross comparison as well. But it's good to see, where are these guys focused? Restaurant crayons, packet of crayons, right? Now, that one doesn't have any search volume, so that's not necessarily something we want to focus on. And you can kind of look down this list and get an idea of what they're doing well, so you know where you might want to position yourself. Another thing you could do is you could filter your list. So if we go back to Cerebro here on our original, is you could take this and cull out anything with a low search volume. If you're having a hard time culling the list, use the filters, and that's a fast way to cull that list quicker. And so let's say, okay, I want to go from rank 20 to rank 50. I want to get only words that have a search volume of at least 500, but I don't want to do anything more than 10,000, and then apply and see what that gets us. So now we're down to 30 keywords, right? So like if I was going to export this over into Frankenstein and see what that looks like, I bet you that this doesn't even reach the character count we need. All right, so let's go back to that Frankenstein. So Pearl, definitely want to keep that. Now the word window, I'm not so sure about that one. Go back and see, okay, why is window coming up? So window crayons is coming up. I don't think we're a good fit for that, so I'm going to go ahead and cull that word right here. And you can delete this, although it's not working right now for one reason or another. So let's see here. Should have let me delete that. I'm not sure why it's not letting me edit it in real time here. But basically, you should be able to edit this and cull it down. And then words like for, you can just get rid of those. You don't need those. Ages, probably would put that in the target audience section, so I'd cull all of that. Confetti, that's an interesting, weird one. Not so sure. Now, you don't need to have both the word crayons and crayon. That would be duplicate. You don't have to have plurals of that. And you kind of just keep going down this list one word at a time. It's very worthwhile to be very picky on what goes into the search terms. Now, like I said earlier, though, if you haven't done this round of optimization before, no matter what you do, as long as you fill 250 characters of unique words, it's going to be an improvement. So if you're not ready to go advanced word by word like I'm kind of doing here, that's okay. Just make your first round of optimizations. Now, what is not accounted for in this list right here is I don't see any misspellings, right? So if we were to just simply Google top misspelling of the word crayon and just kind of see what comes up, right? So similar spelling words. So here's an interesting word like crayon right there. I don't know about that. But you kind of look for misspellings, right? And see if you can find anything like that. Because misspellings in the search term field are very, very valuable. All right, so I'm going to get rid of the filters back on Cerebro because we absolutely did exactly what we needed to do by culling the list down. And now I want to go back and see if I can find anything of additional value that maybe the cull didn't catch, right? So if we filter this by search volume now, and we go down this list, and what do we see for commonalities? Like what makes the most sense, right? So we're seeing toddler crayons. So I really like the word toddler, but I'd probably put that in the target audience section. And we just keep going down this list. So I probably want to have the word school involved, and I probably want to have. So since this isn't letting me edit in real time, I'm going to pull up a notepad. So I probably want to have, and we'll word wrap this so you guys can follow along. So I'm going to get rid of twistable crayon. So kids, Crayola, probably keep that. Coloring, Pearl, keep. Windows for ages. So I'm going to ditch all this stuff up to there. All right. So I don't know about the word melter. We'll come back to that maybe. Box, though. Box is really important for us. And bulk is really important for us. And party might be good. Favors might be good. Smelly, not so sure about that. Maker might have been a misspelling of marker. Chalkboard, potentially. Twistables, probably not. Rocks, no. We've got coloring, so we don't need color. Ultimate collection, probably going to ditch that. Doc McStuffins, probably going to ditch that. Supplies is probably okay. That one might go into one of the other fields, potentially, like not the target audience, but one of the other keyword fields. Not so sure about the word fat. Toddlers we're going to keep for now, but that might be a target audience. Sparkle, probably going to ditch. The word count, we're going to ditch. And that brings us to shower rock finger. So I've culled this down to this list. So now from here, what I want to do is I want to think about potentially some Spanish. So I'm gonna do a Google Translate. So English to Spanish, crayon. And there we go. I just misspelled it when I typed it in. So knowing how I typed that in, that actually I'm going to put into my list here as a common misspelling, just based on that. All right, so crayon, and then we've got lapis de color. And I don't believe we have the word color, but we've got coloring. So we probably can get away with inserting lapis de and leave it like that, right? And then I want to see the other word bulk, and I want to see what that looks like. So albutar, I don't think we're going to see that word in any of this. So if you come back, you take that Spanish word and look at the indexing that's already in place and just type that into show phrases that contain. So I'm searching for the Spanish word bulk. It didn't come up a single time, so it's not going to make our cut. But I am going to include the other one where it was a direct translation of crayon. And that's because I think that's really important. All right, so then if we're looking for other misspellings, we could type in CR just to get all the crayon ones. Apparently, it has to be a partial match is what we're looking for. So see if you can find any of those misspellings. All right, so now we've got this list here. Here's where we're at currently, and we want to get any misspellings. We want to look at the competitors and see what their trends look like too, right? So I think the word restaurant is really important because restaurants would buy bulk crayons. Goodie bags, probably another good idea. Packet, another good idea. So I'm looking at the competitors list now to see additional ideas. So let's scroll through here and see if anything else kind of pops out. Holiday, seeing crayons in bulk, seeing a lot of different iterations of the word crayon. Cases, 4-pack, see a lot of 4-pack language. Bulk coloring again, neon, slinky. So we're just going through and seeing, okay, what do these guys have that didn't make our first round of list? And this is the part where it probably gets the hardest, where you're looking for those additional big wins, right? So I'm already past the first 100 keywords, and I didn't see anything else on page 2 here that caught my eye. And we're just going to keep looking and to see what else comes up. So the word Halloween, so we got some events. I wouldn't put any event language in the keyword field. I would put that in other fields. We got the word mini, twist, individual crayon packs. So that's an interesting angle. A lot of favors unbreakable, probably not a good fit because these crayons are very, very breakable. Little package of crayons, big box, giant crayons. So I didn't really see any misspellings. It doesn't look like we're seeing any call outs for common misspellings of crayons. Actually, I'm surprised by that, right? So here's our list. We're pretty close to a final cut on this. And then I'm going to go back in and here's also what's currently in place. And this is I need to pivot a little bit on the conversation here. So this is a tool in the brand dashboard. And so if you go to the brand dashboard, by going to Performance Brand Dashboard, you can look up ASIN search term optimization details. There are words in here that are in pink. This is something I don't recommend you do or pay attention to on your first round. I would recommend doing this 3 months later because I want to see what indexing improvements occur by having some crossover between the title and the back-end search terms. So here are the words crayons, bulk, party favors, kids, Crayola classroom that are considered non-value added by Amazon. And what that means is that they're already in another field that Amazon's giving us credit for. And so they could be in the bullet points, the description, usually the title. They also look at superfluous words. I mispronounced that, of course. And so the words like and, for, amazing, new, those don't need to be in the system. And so you can go through here and do your second round of optimization by looking at those pink keywords to see where you need to go next. And this is where I would do your second round. So get your first round in place, wait 3 months, check your index score. And if you made improvements on your number of keywords that are indexed, the project was successful. So if you're at 100 keywords indexed prior to starting and a month, 2 months later, you're at 500, obviously you were successful in the indexing. After you've done really good indexing, then the next layer of optimization is how do you improve those rankings of the words you are indexing for? That's when you would come in, cull out the ones that are in pink, and then hyper-focus on the ones that you're in that rank 20 to 50 for. You can also put those words into the front-end copy as well and duplicate the effort on purpose. You can also put them into A+ content. So the alt text photos, so each one of these photos can have 100 characters of unique search terms, and these can be a really nice additional way to get some indexing in place. So I highly recommend spending time on the alt text of your A+ content as well. But don't do this until you've got the back-end search terms set from your first round. Then go look at your A+ content, massage the alt text there as well. Right? Okay, so now if we're going back to like general best practices, you want to have words that are chosen based on search volume, relevancy, competitors for those impressions, long tail keywords, potentially misspellings of core words if they have a high enough search volume. May not have more than a couple iterations of that. But as long as you've got that string of words that we showed you, I'll pull it back on screen here, you're going to get thousands of permutations. So the word twistable will combine with the word packet, and it creates thousands of permutations. So these search term fields affects the SEO for traffic generation on Amazon as you index for words. And what do I mean by index? That's when you show up for a word. So if I type in bulk crayons, this is a very important keyword, and I want to show up on page 1 for this, and so if I index for this word, I'm going to generate sales. I'm going to generate clicks, and I'm going to generate conversions, which leads to sales. And so if you index for thousands of keywords versus dozens, your traffic from organic, which is an earned media that doesn't cost you anything, is very, very valuable to increasing your overall presence on Amazon. And paid media, which is faster and it just has a lot higher cost. You're paying for that click for those advertisement slots. Like right here, you see the word sponsored. All of these require a payment to Amazon every click somebody does. Whereas the organic results, which follow those ads, these are all free clicks. And so if you earn that media and you score indexing points, if you will, indexing for thousands of keywords, you're going to win a lot of organic traffic over time. So it's a really big, helpful win to focus time and attention here. All right, so this was a pretty lengthy demonstration today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that final destination and we're going to paste that back into the search terms field, and then we're going to measure it over time to see how it does. And if the indexing number goes up, we know it was successful. If it goes down, you may want to keep a copy of what you had in there previously to potentially revert it. But if it does go down, it could be for various other reasons, like maybe you stocked out, or just other movements or loss of overall sales or conversions. Maybe you didn't convert well on some of those new keywords, and so you lost the rankings for that. So those are some things to keep in mind. This is one that you could do on your own, but you may also want to consider hiring an expert. We can come in and do all that keyword research for you. My Amazon Guy agency, we do this. This is one of our core services to set keywords for you. So if you're interested in hiring us to come in and manage your catalog, merchandise, set keywords, run some analysis on your competitors, permutate those hundreds of different iterations that come out, and do all that research for you, feel free to contact us at myamazonguy.com. We'll give you a free quote. And probably you'll hire us for more than this service, hopefully, but it's a really good one if you just hire us just for that. And if you have any questions about this or any observations or experiences you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment on this video, and we'll definitely check it out, or shoot some additional content, or answer a follow-up question maybe we didn't cover in the video. And hopefully you subscribe, and we'll generate a lot more content. We've had a lot of requests for advertising videos, so if you have a request for something you'd like to see, don't hesitate to leave that in the comment section as well. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guide. Thanks for watching.